So these courthouses are yours. You should feel comfortable going in and out of them. All these things have long existed before they were taken over, before the cataclysm and all that Reconstruction era. Especially if you are dark toned and you're North America, this is yours. When you step into it, don't step into it from the perspective of you going into their venue, which is a curse that people suffer from. It's their place, their venue. It's not theirs. These structures are yours. Your progenitors built these things and used it until something greater occurred that basically twisted everything upside down and changed dimensions. But that's another stuff. This is yours. You should be comfortable going in there. They put police powers like marshals and sheriff, if it's federal level marshal, county sheriff. They put those there to put people under duress. And there's a part of the brain called reptilian brain. Once you see things like force, it basically puts you in a fight and flight. Pen and paper game, you must not be in fight or flight mode to execute it. But the first thing people face when they go into these structures are basically police powers. So forget all those police powers that you see and focus on the goal and be comfortable with structures like these. With the federal, again, it's marshal. They would basically ask for your ID, search you, go to a metal detector. Some county courts are like that also, but with sheriffs. When you see these structures, the way they are built are different. That's because they're ancient buildings. They are yours. Be comfortable in it. There's a certain spirit that's deposited in there that these acting judges who are Masons are tapping into to dominate people's lives. Those papers that people get in the mail and the way they feel because of the concept involved, the idea involved in courthouses, it's not a coincidence. There's more to it than what meets the eyes. That's because there's a power in here that pre-existed anything people are doing that's causing people to screw up in the head. What you have to do consciously is tap into it. Have that in the back of your mind that this belongs to you. The first time I ever stepped into a courthouse, I had to sit in front of it and just look at it and just take the essence of it in. Because if you just blindly go in there, you have your paper in your hand and you just go in there. But without you actually being one with the essence of what the thing is, it will not work. You have to sit there and honor the essence of what's in it and see it for exactly what it is. What I did the first time I ever stepped into a courthouse was I did a little mild ritual and basically pace people out if you have a judgment in a court case. This is their email, this is their phone number. Their website is fiscal.treasury.gov. And there is a portion where you can actually search for sediment. 1 second. Okay, here it is. You can search payments. Now, I've only used these guys once because I've only had the need to use it once. I don't want to forget about it later on down the line. So you can search payment or request award. There's an entire step to that. They basically want you to send them the judgment from the court case. They give you the step-by-step process of it. It's a very straightforward process. If you have a valid court order and you don't want to go through something called a special proceeding to actually sue that judgment itself to forcefully garnish, you can just get these guys to pay it off to you, because that judgment itself is no different than paid to the order of like writing a check. And that check is what you're giving to these people to act as a bank to just cash you out. Many people don't know these entities exist. And you can also search the record. Along the same line, outside of just regular suits, for those who intend to liquidate the birth certificate, when you see all these federal agencies are cashing out every day. All these agencies that you're looking at, these aren't because they've sued someone. Intelligence community oversight, an agency, legal service corporation, Library of Congress. This is not that they are doing something else. This is them cashing out on your birth certificate by using this system, the fiscal service. Every day it's going on. daily, actively, and it's been going on for a long time. This is that database, at least one of it, when it comes to how they cash out. You have access to it because there are no laws. So if you're suing on a state or county level, a county or federal level, what they would do is they will give you a receipt. Whatever receipt that those people give you, make sure that you keep it, a copy of it. Because what they will do is when you call them to ask for a status of the summons, is they will ask you for the case number, and they will ask you for the receipt number, and it will have all the information of it on its face. So there's something called a return of service. Whenever a summon is issued, someone has to bring back an affidavit or a certification saying, hey, I've served this man or woman during this day and this time. The sheriffs will do that for you. But sometimes if it's taken more than 30 days, you should call them because they might put a suit on a federal level. But if you are suing on a county level, the county of where the defendant is located, they are the ones that you will contact. Although in the courthouse where you filed it physically, you would start it off with the sheriff of that county. And that sheriff, say you live in Marion County and the courthouse is in Marion County, you filed it, the suit in Marion County. You would give the summons and complaint to the sheriffs of the Marion County that exists in that courthouse. That Marion County, which is County A, they will now contact the defendant county and give the information to them to serve it. So now when you're trying to any state, district, or commonwealth, or any territory subject to the administrative or judicial jurisdiction of the United States, the subject to the administrative judicial jurisdiction is what I was referring to when I say the courts have contract with certain counties for the purpose of legal publication of notices, such as summons, an official publication of the record, or a copy attested by the officer with legal custody of the record, or by the officer's deputy and accompanied by a certificate of the officer's has custody. The certificate must be made under seal by a judge or of a court in district or political subdivision where the record is kept, or by any public officer with a seal of office and with official duties in this district, in the district or political subdivision where the record is kept. Now this corroborates with, remember this right here that we just read, Rule 45. It's Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. That Rule 45 corroborates with Rule of Evidence when it comes to copies of public record to prove content, which is Rule 1005, another one in self-authenticating evidence, Rule 902. Rule 902 tells you that the following items of evidence are self-authenticating. They require no extrinsic evidence of authenticity in order for it to be admitted. And then once you serve that public notice,
is that the same principle of with the foreign trustee and how like they're not able to really like serve our foreign trustee?
Exactly. Yes.
And they can't get to the personal capacity of our foreign trustee.
Yes, because remember, the CT Corporation is a trust, so they're acting as a trustee for those entities. Because remember, see, with the Secretary of State, the Secretary of State is just the holder of the record, and then they require a trustee for whoever is being, say, Experian. The trustee, when it comes to registered agent for Experian, is CT Corporation. In your case, your
LTD, they're acting as a registered agent for the actual overall CarMax, the actual like the principal place. Because they are acting as an interested party.
Remember this part where it says conjoined with derivatives, successors, and assigns?
Okay.
This verbiage
covers them as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's the purpose of you putting that there. Because the world of pen and paper is so deep that you can read anything until you really know how to incorporate it into your document with just a few words and a few lines. which will make all the difference. It will just slip right past. You get a grasp of it, but it would just slip. So it's good that you're paying attention to that, but you've incorporated that into your own document so that it doesn't slip past you by verbiages like these. Simple things. So it encompasses all interested parties. So if you have this as a case heading and you get to a point where you're doing service by publication, and the case heading of the summons has this, that means it's conjoining all those other people. The complete 2-hour and 40-minute video of the meeting is posted on the Patreon page. Take care. Best of luck.